Hello, this is an exciting time, exciting period to be alive, to be a viewer of The Standpoint, to be a member of the Standpoint family. Yes, we are 13 years and it's so exciting. Thus far by the grace of God. Listen, throughout this month and months to come, we've already started July, months to come, we are going to bring you feedback. Do I say feedback? Okay, throwback experiences. Those who have been on the program before, those who are yet to come, those who watch it, and find out how the Standpoint has impacted their lives. We started with Mary and, the others as well. So it's going to be a homecoming sort of month for me and for the Standpoint. I don't know why I'm so excited about this month, this anniversary, particularly 13 years. I don't know why, but I'm really, really excited about it. Maybe because by the grace of God, despite the COVID period, we didn't fold up. The program didn't come to an end, and we are still going strong. It's simply by the grace of God. Anyway, today I do have a program for you. I have three young crazy men. In fact, three crazy young men. Let me put it that way. Three crazy young men. Young, all of them under 30 years, and it's amazing what they're doing. So determined to make sure that they change this narrative, the status quo, the perception and impression we've had about young men for years. They are doing something different. And I'm excited to have them on the show, all of them first time being on the show. But I do have a story about each and every one of them and the role they've played in my life. And maybe they will share the role that I've played in their lives as well. But we do have a program for you today. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress is by Ophelia Crossland. Thank you so much to her. My wig is by Inshallah G8. Makeup Face Beat by Michelin's Mirror. Follow them on Instagram, on Facebook, and all other platforms. And the makeup products by Note Cosmetics, the one and only. Light on the face, all shades. Their lipstick, their shadows, their pencils. I mean, they've got it all, the range. And when you go, and it's affordable. That's one thing. Affordable too. And you still look good. Well, we take a break. When we come back, I introduce to you the three crazy young men who are doing great things in this country called Ghana. And they all have a feminine side. The Standpoint, still listen to the feminine side. We'll be back. Well, welcome back to The Standpoint. If you missed the intro, today my guests are three crazy young men who are doing great stuff. All of them really young, and we're going to have an interesting conversation. And trust me, by the end of it, I'm sure I'll be educated and motivated and inspired to even do greater things. Yeah, one of them is looking at the other, thinking, wondering, what is this woman getting us into today? Well, let me say thank you to our sponsors. That's GTP, still timeless. GTP is on a campaign to make sure that you get the original, genuine, and authentic GTP fabric. Wherever you find yourself, you make sure that you get that one. Let's contribute. Let's promote our own and support our own. Thank you to Esteron Balloons and Accessories. Everything balloons and accessories. Just get in touch with them, and wherever you are, they will sort you out. We're also grateful to Note Cosmetics and, of course, Live a Boy. On my set today, right opposite me is Mr. Terry Mante. He's the CEO of the Accra Hub. Welcome to The Standpoint.
Thank you, Gifty.
How do you find my set?
How do I find?
My set.
Yeah, it's nice.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Good. Okay. All right. And next to him is my son, one of my troubles from Edumasa, my husband's PA. Let me just get in there. But he takes me do nothing. He's Steven Nana Eshrin. He's the CEO of Mantra Group. Welcome to The Standpoint.
Thank you very much.
I can't believe that after all these years, this is the first time you are coming on The Standpoint. That's one of the things.
Yes,
When
one of
people
the
are
things,
close
sure.
to you, you take to
It's true.
you tend to take things for granted.
Yeah.
But good to have you on the standpoint.
Thank you very much.
And next to him is my other trouble. Yeah, just last week he was here telling me that I'm delaying. I should come up with another book. Me feel crap. He's Jeremiah Boabeng. He's the CEO of Boabeng Communications and Boabeng Books Limited. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you, mommy. It's good to be here.
So far, how many books have you published?
Oh, do I even know the number? I will struggle to tell, but I can tell that in a year we do about 30 to 40 books a year.
New books?
Yes, new books a year. So in the 6-year history of the business, of course, the numbers have increased over time, but we can see we've done about some 200 books.
200
so far.
books.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done.
So far. Thank you.
Group of companies.
That's very impressive. Yeah.
How many groups?
We have six of them. I have Mantra Korea, and then I have the Mantra Driving School.
Okay.
I have the Mantra Auto Ghana.
Okay.
Then I have the Mantra Security, and then I have the Mantra Microcredit.
How old are you?
Let's keep that for August.
How old are you? I'm 51 going on 52.
All right.
How old are you?
Okay, I'll be 40 this August.
Whoa!
Yeah, I wanted it to be a surprise, yeah. But anyway, you are my mom, so
Small boys are young.
you never know.
And you already have 6.
Yeah, sure. 6.
What's your problem? Are you a restless soul?
You can
You
say
can't
that.
do one thing at a time.
It's just the passion for business, just the passion to do business and to succeed.
Do you have a business? Or are you coming from a family of business people?
No. I think I'm the only person who love business.
So you broke the stereotype,
Exactly.
the status
The
quo.
status quo, sure. Exactly.
Terry,
Hi.
what do you do apart from writing books?
I do consulting. So I have a background in market research and business development. So that is
Okay.
what I use to consult for businesses.
Okay.
So that is what has even led me to start the Accra Hub.
I was going to ask, what is the Accra Hub?
So the Accra Hub is an innovation and incubation center, and we exist to build capacity and also to provide support services for entrepreneurs, startups, and SMEs to be able to thrive and do well. So we have all kinds of things: brand identity services, co-working spaces, places where people can just come and sit and get their work done. When they need to meet a client, they can come there and have their meetings, and various business incubation programs that advance the sustainable development goals, vocational education training, and then other.
Where is the Accra Hub?
It's at Osu.
How was it like growing up? What kind of father did you have?
Well, I grew up in a mother's home. My dad was a plumber. My mom was a trader. Initially, honestly, my dad was great. We went to a school that was right in our community, and he was a plumber who was trying to make ends meet for his family. But he was determined to give his children the best of education. So right from the community school that we attended, when you finish class 6, going into GSS, then he jumps you to a very good school. So my elder brother got to class 6, then my father said, no, I want my children to go to a good school. So he would take us to Datus. At that time, Datus was in Kaswa, and we're in a block factory. So we go to Datus by bus. And then I got to class 6. I also was jumped from the community school, and then I went to Datus. So my dad was determined to give his children a really good education. And then, getting good clothes was like a normal for us. But unfortunately, along the line, things didn't go so well. So Ada's influence in our lives began to wane. Fortunately for us, what we didn't get from him in material resource, we got from him in genes. So all of us kids were very determined, resolute young people. So as I speak now, we are 6 in the family, and 5 of us who are old enough to work all have our own businesses. The 6th person, the only reason he doesn't have a business is because he's in secondary school from 2. So if at any point he lost his influence, we still carried his confidence. We're bold enough to start businesses. After I started business and some had gone into my eye, I told the one behind him that, Charlie, don't start a business. I'm going to look for a job. He didn't listen to me. He started a business, and his business is now 3 years old. He's doing jobs for people all over the country and stuff like that.
Wow. So the plumber's son dared to dream to have his own business.
Yeah.
And all of you, 5 of you, all of you have your
All of us
own
are
business.
entrepreneurs. Yeah.
all entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Are you the firstborn?
I'm the second born.
You are the second born. The first one has his own
So
business. And
our eldest brother is Ricky. Ricky owns Platinum Cinematics, so he's into video production, photography, and then there's me who runs a couple of businesses, and then I do some stuff, consulting work as well. The one behind me is into tech, so it's into things related to new media, motion graphics, websites, apps. The one behind him is a graphic designer and a pastor. So he runs his own advertising agency and he has started a church as well. Then the one behind him is a girl. She's a fashion designer. And she has a very interesting...
You know what is surprising? Because you are second one, you are 33. So I'm just imagining...
They are just young.
You know?
My sister is just 22 years old and her story is amazing. She went to school to do an HND in fashion. Right after her first semester, COVID hit. So school came to a halt. But she was determined to make a fashion designer of herself. She started watching videos on YouTube, going to do small things with fashion designs and all of that. So now, my sister now sews clothes for people for money. And she's actually now learning how to do bridals.
I've seen some of her works, amazing designs here.
Yeah.
Why hasn't she sewn for people?
Undo level, yes. Undo level, yes.
Who said so to me level, yeah? That's amazing. Wow. But what was your dream growing up? What did you want to do?
Well, a couple of things ran through my mind when I was growing up. But it began to consolidate when I was around 14, 15. So when I used to love reading. I mean, I've always been a reader. So around my mid-teens, I started getting attracted to things of a philosophical, inspirational, success nature. So around 15, 16, I discovered a passion for sharing wisdom, inspiring people, motivating people. So throughout my whole stay in secondary school, I spent a bit of my time doing that. And then, so in that period, I got introduced to a couple of authors. One of them was Dr. Yapebi, who is now based in Canada. And then the other was Stephen R. Covey. And Stephen R. Covey's books made me excited about management, organizational leadership, and stuff like that. So even then, I started thinking of owning my own business. Okay. I remember back in secondary school, one of my friends offended me. And I told him that he's offending me now because he thinks I'm nobody. But along the line, he will have to book an appointment to meet me in my office.
That's why he laughed.
Yes, he laughed. Because I was so sure that I was going to come out of school and become an entrepreneur. And now I see some of my friends and they say, Jeremiah, the thing you said is you do more.
So after school, did you ever work for somebody before working for yourself?
My only work experience in life is the teaching I did post-secondary school. Okay. But besides that, after national service, I've never worked a day for anybody. After national service, I began a full-time career as a motivational speaker, did that for about a year and a half. Then I started thinking of what I could do with the rest of my time I had if I wasn't speaking at conferences. So I started thinking, and I started what became Boabin Books and then Boabin Communications and a few other things that I've done in that period.
Amazing. Wow. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Stephen and then Terry. Amazing. And I mean, right from the beginning, you get it. It doesn't matter where you start. Be determined, and you can be consistent. You can hold on to your dream. And I must add this: he was the first person I heard him make that statement that before you get to heaven, you need to know Jesus. And then I also added my part too. Jesus also has to know you.
So you really remember that encounter?
I do. Yes.
Wow.
I do. You thought what?
This is about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes, at
the
Nat Hall.
Wow.
I remember. Yes.
That's
I
interesting.
do remember. I never forget. That's me. Somebody, they will tell you. His boss will tell you that this woman, remember every date. Wow. Every day. I never forget. Would you do me good or bad? I remember.
Wow.
I decide to forgive, but I remember. Well, you're watching The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to all our supporters. Yogurt is very good for you. And the guys, I'll get them on The Standpoint one of these days too, because they also from tech decided producing their own yogurt, and they're doing so well. Now people beat me and tell me that they can't get some to sell at their shop. They've come on top. Lloyd, don't do that. Thank you to Awake Purified Mineral Water and Puma Drinks by Casapreco Company Limited. Cake Technique, thank you so much. House of Food, Auntie Vera, Kodam's Gift and Stationery, everything gift and stationery. Get there, they will sort you out. Yep, cleaning services, whatever the occasion, just get in touch with them and they will do. They fumigate as well. Your office, your home, your events, cleaning before and after, they will do all that for you. Thank you to Juice Time. We are so grateful to everybody. And of course, Lifebuoy and GTP for supporting our programs for June and July. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Well, again, I say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress is by Ophelia Crossland. Makeup by Michelin's Mirror. And then makeup products, Note Cosmetics. My hair by Inshilo GH. You can follow all of them on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And I'll say thank you to all our supporters and sponsors. Thank you to Lifebuoy and Note Cosmetics for always giving me gifts for my guest on the show. Now, seated right opposite me is Terry Mante. Next to him is Stephen Nana Ishrain, and then Jeremiah Boabing. Let me move on straight to Terry. What kind of background do you have growing up for you?
I think this is probably the first time I'm going to talk about something like that. So it's normal, typical Ghanaian family, but I didn't grow up in a home where both mother and father were present.
Okay.
It was primarily a single parent family. My mom did a lot of the work. My father didn't really do much of the work. So just grew up like that, went through the normal government school system, and then secondary school, university, and here I am.
How many are you in the family?
We are four.
Four.
So I'm the third. So I have an elder brother, I have a sister, and then myself and another brother.
Another brother.
Yes.
Okay, so your mother single-handedly raised you.
Yes.
What was she doing?
Well, my mom worked as a caterer. So she started as a domestic baser in a secondary school, what we normally would call a matron.
A matron,
so she was a matron. And so she worked in, at the time, she worked in Akimoda, Odan Secondary School, which is now Odan
Terry,
Senior
it's
School.
Achimoda.
It's Achimoda, not Akim.
Not Akim.
Okay. So Achimoda. So that was where I had my primary education.
Okay.
And then along the line, she left the country. So she moved on to live in the United States.
Okay.
So we transitioned from there to live with another auntie of ours in Koforidia, who was also, we normally would say she's an auntie, but at the time she was just my mother's friend.
Yeah.
She was my mother's friend.
Friend, okay.
But we
so
went
not
to,
blood related?
Not blood related.
Okay.
But we went to live with her in Koforidia. She also happened to be another domestic base, another matron.
Okay.
So in Koforidia, I lived on the campus of Ghana's for many years. Then I went to...
So they're campus boy, from Achimda,
campus
campus to, Koforidia
and
campus.
Growing up in matron's houses, you can imagine the amount of secondary school food I've eaten.
I was going to ask you, you are the type who you will never complain about secondary school food.
So that was it. And then but even in Kufredia, it was a very good life there.
Right.
And then I moved on to secondary school. I went to St. Peter's and then to University of Ghana. And then, I've been working and hustling.
But what was your dream?
I wanted to be a doctor at a point.
Okay. But why are you laughing?
Because almost every it's something a lot of children talk about.
Yeah.
But you know, when you are those days when you are going to school and you seem to be doing well academically,
exactly.
everybody thinks that I saw a doctor, and I thought it would be a prestigious thing to be a doctor. And then I did very well with BCE. But thankfully, when I went to St. Peter's, I wasn't allowed to I couldn't get to do the science. Because in that school, when you go, they don't just give you what you want to do.
They will assess you.
It will assess you. And then, thank God, my weaknesses showed in that very first term.
Right.
Mathematics, science, not very good. So they didn't allow me to do the science. I had to do general arts, which I think was a blessing. Because I can't imagine myself now being in that field. So I did that. And then, so when I couldn't get the science, the dream changed. So I used to listen to the news a lot. And then there was a particular economist in this country, I don't want to mention his name, but anytime his name came up in the media, they would say, a respected economist, a respected economist. And I said, okay, I also want to be respected.
That's all.
I didn't even know what economist was.
Yeah.
And at the time, one of my elective subjects in secondary school was economics. So I said, okay, I wanted to be so I said, okay, I wanted to be an economist and a lawyer. So, but more importantly, the economist. Because I
respected.
Yes. So then I got to the University of Ghana, and then I saw that the economics I was doing in secondary school was very different from the economics at the University of Ghana. So the dream also began to me. And I said, let me just concentrate on becoming a lawyer, which I haven't totally given up on. But so I dropped the economics along the line. I finished with political science and sociology. I attempted to go to the law faculty. I didn't pass the entrance exam. And then I just went to do an MBA, and then...
So Terry has failed before.
Several times.
Okay.
Failed to get to do science at the secondary school. Failed, okay, that one I won't say failed, but the first attempt at getting into the law faculty didn't really work out. And then other things along the line too may not have worked out well, but we keep
So after
learning.
uni, where did you work?
After uni, I got straight into the field of market research. It was an incidental situation, but National Service took me there. So I worked with a private company that was into market research. At the time, I didn't even know there was a whole industry or field of market research. So I did the market research. And that was when I got to see that when you are running a business or doing something, you can't just sit in your room and say that, oh, I think if I do this, it will work, and then you go and do it. Because sometimes some of our clients would bring a product they wanted to do, and then we'll do a research about the product. We have to test it on the market, and then you realize that, no, this product would not work. It's a good product, but based on what people are saying about it, it won't work. And all kinds of things. So it really helped me. So in terms of how I even communicate, I don't like to assume a lot. No matter how logical it sounds in my mind, I wouldn't want to put it out there without testing it or without having some practical understanding of how the thing really is on the ground. Because I saw it so many times. There was a particular company that had done a product. Just when they were about to launch it, somebody said, no, let's test it first. So we tested the product. We did focus group discussions across the country. And today, that product never came out.
Never came out.
Because they complained, packaging, how the product was, and all of that. And it never came. And it saved them a lot of money.
Right.
And all that. So that really, for me, has undergirded much of what I've done since then. Even as an author, as a consultant, and all of that. So sometimes people come to me, say, okay, we want to do ABCD. Can you do it for me? Will it work? And I said, I don't know. Unless we test it, unless we research into it. And,
so how long, what pushed you to work on your own, to go work on your own?
It's something I had always wanted to do. So because I felt that I needed the space and the freedom to be able to do things that would enable me to make an impact on society. Because sometimes there are times you have to go to work if you work we do a regular job. So you go to work from 8 to 5. Sometimes you get home tired, and it's difficult to combine with all these other things. So
okay.
I decided that I was going to develop the discipline to be able to do the things I really, really, really felt strongly about, to be able to, no matter how difficult. But of course, I've worked like
With
this with a few.
But you have no
before.
regrets leaving to work for yourself.
I have no regrets. I have lessons, but no
Regrets.
regrets.
If you had to do it all over again, you do it differently.
I would do it differently. Not that I would. I may not work for still not work for anybody, but
right.
I would do it maybe much differently. But
Right.
I'm sure that it wouldn't be very different.
Right, right. You know, one of the reasons I decided to get you young men on the program was a young man in Tamale that I interviewed first week in June called McCarthy. He's the Hop In Center in Tamale.
Okay.
And he made a comment that as a child, he believes in young people starting, or people starting while they are young,
Yes.
being
I watched-
daring.
I
You
watched
watch
that
it.
episode.
And then he gave an example of when a child is playing, doesn't care, we're pushing water, whatever, doesn't care what, he or she has no sense of fear.
Yeah.
But when you grow up to a certain stage, then moving out becomes scary. You start asking yourself. But when you are young, and I believe that that's what you guys did, you took the plunge at very young, and especially this one. Do you have any things? So many things at the same time. And for me, I think it's very exemplary for people to know. Now, Stephen, you are not just working for yourself, but
Sure.
you are working with your wife.
Sure. Yeah.
When people are, God forbid, touch wood, and this is wood too, marriages are breaking down because couples work together. You, as a younger man, with a young wife, with kids, how many kids?
3.
3 kids. You decided that you're going to work with your wife. How many years have you been working together?
We've been working together for, I think, about 10 years, if I'm not.
Working together for 10 years.
Yeah, getting to 10 years now. So I would say probably effectively 8 years. Yeah.
Why did you take that decision? Was it your decision or the two of you decided?
As an entrepreneur, I keep telling myself that if I'm not able to convince whoever I'm with to also get that passion to do business, then I've failed. So my wife, when I think just after we got married, she was working with one of the telcos. I don't want to mention the name. And the stress, she goes and sometimes comes late. And there was a time that she was attacked when she was coming home, and I felt, okay, this is it. We need to make a decision, So what do you think you can do best aside, what you do at your workplace? So we discussed it. I was able to help her with some business plan, and she decided to work with me because she felt that she has an accounting background, so she felt that she would be able to support me in what I do, So since then we took that decision to work together, So I gave her the managerial role, and she's been managing everything that we do since. So we started working together since then, and I can say that it has really helped because bringing up the children, when we started having kids and all that, it gave her the time to be able to properly, manage the kids and all that, and also to manage the home. So for me, it's the best decision. And before we even came on set, I was discussing with my friends, Terry and Jerry, that I think marrying my wife is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because she compliments me so well. And
where did she go to school?
Yeah, of course.
Where did she go to school? Where did she go to school? She went to Fancy Girls again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. She's a good woman. So for me, that was when I made the decision for her to join me, and it's not something I also forced on her, but I had to be able to, explain to her the benefits. And I think she's also not regretted since. So we've been working together.
Have you had a conversation with her
to
find out if
of course.
she's
Of course.
glad she took that decision?
Yeah, she's glad, because one thing I also told her that she still have a professional certificate, and anytime she feels there's a need to fall on it, she can always do that, you know, and trust me, we are doing very well. No, she handles Mantra Courier, and Jerry is one of our biggest clients, and Jerry will tell you.
Hey, and I'm your client too.
Of course, and Terry too. You know, you see, and yeah, exactly, and they will tell you. I mean,
Mantra Courier is the most well-run delivery business.
I'm telling
you.
I'm not saying it because it's here.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I know.
all the time. Extremely well-run. Extremely polite, extremely disciplined. There's nothing like I'm coming and they are coming.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need this. Oh, we can't do that now. Can we do it at this time?
You know.
That's something I testify, especially when I was doing when I ran promotions and I had to deliver books. And now will send me. I said, and Barbara will send me a message and say that, oh, I'm sorry, he can't get there at 7. Is it possible to get there at 9? Will you be okay? You know, and at 9 you'll be there. And I mean, it's different from people telling you, oh, be there in the morning, and they'll get here and say, oh, I was doing this, I was doing this, I was doing that. You know,
so as you guys have testified, I mean, she's doing extremely well, and I also keep that open door kind of, you know, management, so that when she have any challenges, she can come to me and they'll be able to discuss it. She signs on all the accounts, you know, so she doesn't necessarily have to co-sign with me. So that is, the trust is also there. So for me, it's a good decision. I decided to work with.
But what did people tell you when you decided, when they initially found you started working with your?
Well, you know, they will say, hey, you go to work when there's a breakup or when there's a divorce, you have issues. And I said, I don't think of divorce. You know, when you pick the right woman, it's difficult to think. I'm not saying it's not possible, but of course, it's good to trust somebody and let a person know that, okay, he trusted me and I failed him, than to have doubts about the person. So for me, I had a lot of things, but I knew what I wanted to do, and I've not regretted it since.
Well, what's the kind of background that you come from? I mean, all I know about, you know, you as you're hardworking, you're very polite and all that. Your big sister, who is a chief, you know, she's a female, but she's a chief in Edumasa. That's Dompia Hene, Nana Dompia Hene. I know her to be also very kind. That's what that's all I if you ask me about her, was like, she's very kind and very giving.
Sure.
But what kind of upbringing did you get?
Well, I think, you know, it amazes me sometimes because our father was a military person, you know, but he never stayed in the barracks, so we never got the barracks experience as some people had, you know. So we grew up in Accra, Asalam Down to be precise, and my father, even though he was a military person, didn't have that kind of strict, you know, rules, give us that kind of strict rules. You know, he allowed us to be able to experiment as to whatever we wanted to do. But just like Jerry was saying about his father, he was very keen about giving us the best of education, you know. And so once you are able to follow through to the level that he feels you are okay, good to go, then, you know, you have his blessing. And so for me, I think that also helped us to be able to become the kind of person that we've become, you know. So it was okay. It wasn't the tight kind of parent.
But what did you study at uni?
All right. So I did entrepreneurship. I did a lot of, a couple of certificate courses at Kempa.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did entrepreneurship?
Yeah, entrepreneurship.
So how did you end up working at the ministry for?
Yeah, for a while, eh? Okay, yeah, sure. Anyway, probably that's another time. We'll share that story. But you know, after secondary school, I think I've had the privilege of working with Comsys Ghana Limited. I don't know if you've heard of Comsys.
Yeah.
They are, you know, this network, you know, service providers, so I've had the privilege to work with them. Then just after that, you know, I decided to pursue some courses at Kempa. I had the opportunity to work at the ministry, Ghana Road Fund to be specific, under the Ministry of Roads and Highways. You know, so whilst there's that, you know, I still had that passion to be able to be on my own. So I remember when I wanted to leave, I discussed with my bosses, and they were like, you know, you've always had this passion for business, and we would have wished you wait, because the pay was good, the structure was okay. But I told them, listen, this is what I wanted to do. So at a point, before I would leave, I was still running Mantra alongside. You know, I was lucky to have a very good boss who will give you your responsibility for the day. So once you are able to meet it, you know, I made good use of the time. You know, so I was running until a point I told them that this is it. I wanted to leave and then be able to focus and grow my business. So,
But when you
family
left
life,
to work on your own, at a point,
yeah,
disaster struck.
sure,
And this is concern between me and
yeah,
Dompia.
sure,
We thought like, you were crazy to have left Adita because
Yeah.
you were doing okay where you were
Sure.
working. And that's what
yeah, I was doing very
we
okay.
felt, that you were doing okay working under somebody,
Yeah.
and then you decided to work on your own. But somehow you managed to pull yourself together.
Yes.
And came out of it.
Of course, I mean, in life, you'll be met with challenges, but your focus or whatever the vision is should be able to help you to overcome those challenges and make the mark you want to mark. Because personally, I feel that there's no great person you mention in Ghana today that didn't go through, a particular challenge. So for me, challenges are normal, but it's up to you to be able to face them and then come out of it, so that you can also be an example or an inspiration to somebody who looks up to you. So it's been tough. Yeah, it was tough at a point, but I was able to overcome. Because I was determined to make it.
The determination makes
Yeah.
the difference. Let me take another break. I was reading after, I think, one of the young ladies interviewed President Kufuor quite recently, and I read somebody's choice. It said, listen, from what President Kufuor talked about, he was born into money, everything, schooled abroad and everything. But even he failed at a point by losing elections. So failure is part of life. It's all about how you put yourself together, pull yourself up, be determined, and forge ahead. Well, let me take another. When I come back, they have at least two things in common that I know. And we'll find out the rest and what they intend to do, and what they think about the standpoint 13 years on. Well, thank you to GTP, still timeless. GTP is on the OGA campaign, original, genuine, and authentic GTP fabric. That is what you have to buy, not the fake one. You go to social media, you see GTP, GTP, whatever it is. Please, GTP's account on Facebook is GTP Fashion or GTP. Make sure you don't go and buy fake cloth. Buy GTP. It's original. It's timeless. Different designs all the time. Birthday, whatever the occasion, just make sure you add a GTP to it. I've worn GTP for like forever, and now they have the Adipa Dumas, we have the Addition Sroma, we have the new style, we have the Sroma, we have the Safwa, we have, so many, types and designs and colors, and you can, if you look at my dress, you see, this is Adipa Dumas, this one is Adipa, this one is new style. And then, let me see. Okay, I have the three. Yes, so this is Adipa Dumas. This is Adipa. This is new style. Yeah, three different altogether. We take a break. When we come back, we'll continue. But hey, let me also say thank you to Esron Balloons and Accessories. Everything balloons and accessories. Just get in touch with them and they will sort you out. They are at Mokola, adjacent to the Rollins Park. And then they have another branch at Flowerpot area, near the Assemblies of God Church, quite close to the Palace Mall. And this program is aired on 5 platforms. Yes, 5 platforms. It's on Joy Prime, it's on EBN TV, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, and it's on our website as well. 5. So if you miss anything, just make sure that you go and have a review. Follow us on all our social media platforms, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Standpoint. Again, we say thank you to our supporters. Go God to your God, Awake Purified Mineral Water, and Puma Drinks by Casa Preco Company Limited. Yep, Cleaning Services, House of Food, Auntie Vera. Thank you so much. Auntie Vera, I hope today you brought me watching. Thank you to Cake Technique and Kodam's Gifts and Stationery. Everything gifts and stationery, just get in touch with them. They will sort you out. Thank you so much to Go God to your God. And of course, Juice Time. And who else? Note Cosmetics and Dream Oval. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Oval. Now, Terry was wondering what I know you three have in common. I know all three of you love Pastor Mensa Otabil.
Sure.
Or you go to ICGC.
100%.
Thank you. The second one is that you are all mentors and
sure.
motivational speakers.
Sure.
Third one that I got to, it came back to mind when my director came to do Kokonsa, is that you all have written books.
Sure.
You're all authors.
Sure.
I like.
Sure. Very true.
Okay. So what is the bigger picture for you? What made you, of course, you talked a bit about why you decided to be a motivational, and you became a professional motivational speaker for 1.5 years before you even added the business. What was the goal? Was it that people were doing so you also wanted to do some?
I believe that God creates everybody for a purpose, for an assignment, and that there's something that God wants all of us to become. And I'm so sure in my mind that God did not call me to be an employee. I'm so sure that if I had chosen to work for somebody, God would have been disappointed. It wouldn't have been what He had meant for me to do. Why is this important? Because it's imperative that certain people take up certain responsibilities so that they can create opportunities for others. So even at this level, I run, give or take, 3 businesses. I employ about 15 people. That's 15 now. But in 10 years, it could double by 100%. It could double by even 1,000%. There could be 150 people who could have businesses in other countries. So for me, all my endeavors in life is trying to become that which God made me to be. And it's not something I say only on a public platform. It's almost something that's always on my mind. What does God want me to be? So I'm very passionate about national development, but I'm not clear in my mind that among the things God wants me to be, politics is included. I will only do something if I'm sure that's what God wants me to do. So for me, everything that I've done with my life, my endeavors to speak, writing a book, starting a business, is all in an attempt to become what God has ordained me to become. And I believe that in doing that, I can create opportunities for people, I can make a mark, and I can inspire others. Because from my background, not if you look at the age at which I emerged in the public space, it's very easy for you to assume that, or that be, if there were examples. But really, there weren't any examples. There wasn't any resources. Today, my siblings look at me and I ask my sister, I didn't tell them why you're so aggressive, why are you guys so ambitious? And they say, but Brad Jerry, we see you, we see how you started. And it's so obvious that in life you become serious, things work out well.
Sure.
So I want to be that inspiration to someone, that I know that I've arrived. I'm also a beggar, but I'm just showing you how to find bread. That in life you can make progress if you put in a lot of effort. So that's all I'm seeking to achieve. Become who God made me to be, and for my life to inspire somebody to do well.
Terry, what about you? What is that one thing that you know that, Charlie, like Paul?
Yeah, I think
that one
sometimes
thing.
I'm generally very optimistic. So when I set a goal, when I want to do something, I know that I'm going to achieve it. So this sense of optimism sometimes makes it difficult for me to see loopholes that I must deal with. So sometimes there will be some things that may not be going well, and it takes a while before I notice, because I was so optimistic that this is going to work. This is what I'm doing. This is the objective. I'm not making room for. I don't like any negativity. I'm very intolerant of negativity
Okay.
and all that. So sometimes you So you push and push and push, and you realize that you should have done this, you should have done that. So this sense of optimism makes it difficult sometimes to see some of the loopholes that I need to work on. So it sort of slows me down. And then maybe sometimes too, I like to think in detail and plan in detail. So that also sometimes becomes.
Do people tell you that you are too serious?
Those
It's too serious.
Those who don't know me say I'm too serious.
It's very for a decade since I don't know you.
There's some kinds of things sometimes we talk about and all that. But well, they say I'm too serious, but I'm surprised they say that because I know that I'm not.
It's not serious.
Yeah, sure.
Jeremiah, what about you? What is your weakest link in terms of you, not somebody in your life or something in your life?
Weakest. I think that for what I do, the thing that becomes a strength also ends up becoming his weakness. It's ambition. There's so much that you want to accomplish. So sometimes you don't allow certain things that you have started to consolidate. Then you start new things. I think that generally for a lot of leaders, natural leaders, that's a challenge you are trying to deal with. You are so ambitious, you are so driven that you are eager to do a lot of things. Now that same ambition makes you impatient with yourself and with other people. So sometimes, even with your employees or people that you are working with, you are wondering, this thing has to be done and done now. Why have you not done it? And you have to do it. And sometimes somebody is trying to engage you, and you're engaging on something that to them matters, but you are thinking that this is not the right time for this. So at every point in time, you have to remind yourself that. So at the moment, one of my goals in life is not just to be good at what I do, but to be a good human being. Because you can be a good speaker, a good entrepreneur, a good writer, but how do people really think about you? Those who come in close connection with you, how do you bless them? How do you touch their lives? So for somebody who is ambitious, wants to do a lot of big things, you have to have that consciousness that those in my immediate environment, how do I bless them? So I lead prayers in my company, and I pray for those who have left. Even those who left and they pain me, I still pray for them. Yeah. I want them to do well. Yeah. But for all you know, one day they may open a door for you. Yeah. So it's a certain consciousness. And I don't say this to say that it's easy, it's difficult. But you have to push yourself and say that I don't just want to be good at what I do. I want to be a good human being.
Sure.
Stephen?
Yeah. I think mine is got to do with trust. I think I overtrust. So when the person disappoints me, I find it extremely difficult to forget about it. I don't know why, because I don't know. For me, I when I trust you with my all. I don't know how to pretend. And I mean, my friends are here, they will tell you. I keep telling them that I'm practical. When they do, I've had people think Jerry loves me so much, but we've had our bad times. Just because sometimes he does something and I need to. Exactly.
You fought with him over me.
Exactly. So I correct him if I have to, because I keep telling them that when you have friends who cannot rebuke you when you do wrong, they don't really, have your interests at heart. So for
Does
me,
he know that you correct me too?
Well, that one is private, so I don't discuss it. But for me, that is it. So when I trust people and they disappoint me, I become so hurt that it takes a very long time to be able to overcome that. So for me, that is my weakness. Yeah.
And Mommy, before you go on to say, let me quickly say that. So my office premises, I named it after Stephen. So my businesses operate from a space called the Stephen Center.
Oh, wow.
And it was to acknowledge him for all the support,
all the
encouragement,
wow.
all the amazing things that he's done for me. And it's been amazing. Stephen loves, and he loves wholeheartedly. And he pushes doors for you. He takes you to places that you'll never go, puts in a good word for you every now and then. And I thought that we're always making noise about celebrities and big people that we don't know, but the people around us who are supporting us, we don't celebrate them. So I decided to honor him by naming our premises after him.
Well done.
So you operate from the Stephen Center.
A grateful heart always keeps receiving.
Sure.
A grateful heart. And I just want to show gratitude to you all too for what you're doing, especially for younger people. It's not just young people, but of course, some of us also look up to you and we get inspired. After all, you inspired me to write. Wow. So this is from Life Boy. Wow. They have the Lifebuoy soap, they have the hand washing, and then they have the gel as well.
Wow.
That's the
Thank you so
that's sanitizer. No,
Thank you
please
so
pass
much.
it on. And then, Terry, are you married?
No, not
Do
yet.
you have a
In
girlfriend?
the pipeline.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No,
Otherwise, I won't give
no
you.
comment.
Mommy, don't let me start.
Okay, so this is makeup from Notes Cosmetics, and then you give it to your girlfriend as well. And this one too for you, Stephen.
Thank
That's
you
from
so much.
Lifebuoy.
Wow.
And then makeup. I'll call Barbara before
My
you
wife
get
will be
home.
very happy. Now I don't have to give an excuse that there's no soap sound bath in the night.
And this one too is for you,
Thank you so much.
Jeremiah.
Thank you
And
so
then
much.
tell Enam, let me see if everything is in there. Yes, everything is in there. The lipstick and everything. All right. So I just want to celebrate you and say, well done. You know, the standpoint is that. Have you watched the standpoint before?
Yeah, I have.
Terry,
Yeah, I have.
Stephen, have you watched it before?
All the time, you know.
Jeremiah.
Watching this was a job. I had to do it.
You said you had to do it. Yes, the standpoint is that. So what is your impression of after 13 years of its existence? What do you think of it?
Because of the roles that we are privileged to play, we get to hear a lot of private stuff. And very often, a lot of the things that are discussed in the spotlight are career, business. But those are not the only things that really impact on people's lives. There are very important social issues that really, really affect people. So there are people who cannot pursue their careers or their businesses anymore because of they're having some family issue, marriage issue, relationship issue. So the presence of an intervention like Standpoint, it's not just an add-on, it's a foundation. And over the years, the kind of subjects that you discussed on the show are things that are shaping the various fabrics of our society and helping people straighten the past in their lives to understand certain things, subjects like domestic violence. One of the shows that I remember, I never forgot, was the gentleman. It wasn't Henry Howard who was taking care of, was it his girlfriend or someone's baby?
Yes.
Or
yes,
something like
yes.
that.
That sisters, yes.
Exactly. So these are the things that we need to espouse. We need to encourage people to do. That it's not. Don't only aspire to do well in a career. Don't only aspire to do well in ministry, because there are people who are even doing ministry who are having terrible problems at home. So I think the Standpoint is amazing, and it must be on more platforms than the 5 that is already on, and more people need to watch and learn and improve their lives.
Amen to that. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, for me, I've mentioned it to a couple of people that you are the Oprah Winfrey of Ghana.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I mean, you know, you don't do it for the cameras. I mean, you really have people at heart. And for me, knowing you personally and some of the challenges you have, but you are able to carry yourself and still bless people. I'm more like your reporter too, because sometimes I give you a lot of feedback, you know, from people who just, you know, want to tell you how much your episode has blessed them. And I do that all the time. Sometimes I call you or connect you to people who just want to be able to express their gratitude. And for me, it tells you that whatever you are doing, you are doing it so well, you know, that people are really getting the results. So for me, it's been an amazing journey, and I wish to tell you that keep on doing the good work.
Thank you. Amen. So help us God. Terry.
For me, I want to commend the entrepreneurial ingenuity that you have used to shepherd this program. This is 13 years. Consistency. And that is very admirable. Only few people are able to start a show like this and keep it on air for all these years. Getting content, managing a crew, paying for it, and all of that. And I think it shows that you are doing very well. And I hope that it continues and it even becomes better.
We're celebrating the 50 years, right?
Yes,
Amen.
we will. It's not, don't do it about you.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
About the people,
About
the
the
impact
people.
it's making.
Exactly.
And that is what also keeps it going.
It's true.
Yeah. So I bought you a gift, 2 of my books,
Okay.
very already autographed.
Hey.
Wow.
So
Thank you. So this is Terry Mante, Life Sense. I like that.
Yeah.
And then this is the political market of demand and supply.
When
God lost
an
an election. Finally, I get my copy.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I saw it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Thank you, and God bless you. And keep doing what you're doing,
Sure. Thank
and
you.
keep motivating and encouraging.
Thank
You know, we need to change the perception people have about the youth, and especially young men. God bless you.
Thank
God
you so
bless
much.
you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You, please pass the collection bowl around.
Yeah.